So why don't you start?
Well, I had occasion to go to the movie theater today
No kidding.
and caught me a little piece of that there Mad Max movie.
Yes. Yes.
You saw it yesterday, right? So
Uh,
you've
it,
had more time to kind of ruminate on it.
I may have even seen it the day before. I'm losing track. I saw it on Saturday. Doesn't matter.
Yes, that was the day before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay, right. Oh, because I saw it today. Um, well, it was in a lot of ways it was better than I thought it would be. It was never as bad as I was half expecting it to be, but it was
okay.
never better than I was half prepared to be surprised
I,
by.
listen, I dropped out of college. I don't think I can actually handle that complex a sentence. But
Okay,
I think I understand. It wasn't as bad as you feared, and it wasn't as good as you'd hoped.
beautiful.
There we go. Okay, that's interesting. I will say that I feel more positive about it than you do.
I feel like the best thing I could say about no, I shouldn't say that, but I was very good. Was that you? Did the mic just pick that up?
I don't know. If you
It starts
heard it,
something.
yes. If you heard it, it was me.
Okay.
It was my stomach, man. It was internal, not
Yeah,
external.
I
Okay,
know what it
okay.
was. Yeah. Okay. Um, I was very relieved that now this like it was better than the third one.
Okay. Yes,
Even
yes.
though it started going down some of that territory for me,
Oh, okay, okay.
it wasn't as bad.
When did you see Thunderdome? When was
Okay,
the? Oh, so you have a very good memory, much better than I do, because I don't remember enough about it other than that it was awful.
I remember like three scenes. Yeah,
Oh,
I've
okay.
tried to repress it.
I understand, and I don't blame you. Yeah, here's the thing: is that I felt as though it was. Well, let me set it up a little bit, uh, just so that you know, going into it, where my head was at was that I was very much looking forward to seeing it.
Hmm.
And it was one of the few times that that all of us in the family went out together. We have not had a movie that all of us wanted to see, and we were not all willing to be around each other long enough to whatever. So much, teenagers and all the high drama that goes on.
Units. Oh, sure.
So, very excited to get there. By the time I got there, it had all blown to hell, and everyone was sitting in a different place in the theater. And I ended up having to do a Sophie's choice of whether or not to sit with my son. One of my sons was with his friends, and I couldn't sit near them. That was off limits. Whether I needed to sit with my 17-year-old or with my wife. And I chose my wife, but I really wished I was sitting with my 17-year-old. So through all of the trailers and for the first 10 minutes of the movie, I was just steaming. I was furious. So I was really not connected at all to what was going on. And then, even with that as my mindset being there, I ended up getting sucked into it. And I have to say, I had a hell of a good time. I felt like the phrase that came to my mind is a worthy successor to the first two movies. That it belongs as the third movie in a
That's what
sense,
I was thinking too.
and
Yeah.
that I felt like it took, it jettisoned most of what was wrong with the third one, and it celebrated most of what was right about the first one, paying sort of homage to itself, essentially. Little moments throughout, from guns that misfire to
Yeah.
to cars that are iconic that are then destroyed and rebuilt and redestroyed and so on and so forth, down to a music box not playing a big part but just as a passing reference. So there
Right.
was tons of stuff that if you know the first one, it gives it a little bit more zip to it. And I forgot where I was headed, but oh, I know. I also thought maybe likening it to Now, I'm going out on a limb here, so I'm just using this as a general type of thing.
Limb
Yeah,
away.
that Fury Road is to Road Warrior what Aliens is to Alien. That in the second Alien film, it's just a nonstop thing. They take a couple of minutes to get stuff set up, and then it just goes. And that's really the case here. It's just essentially a 2-hour chase. And it is, there are a couple of moments of calm and peace and whatever, but mostly you're just on the go. Whereas in the original Road Warrior film, not Mad Max, but the
Right.
Road Warrior, there was a little more room to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
You could have little character moments and take time to do that. And there was really no time spent here on any of that.
No, yeah, that's one thing I did that I was surprised at was the relentlessness of the pace.
Okay. And I felt like I didn't mind it. I enjoyed it. I basically had a good time. It got quiet enough for me at the times for me to catch my breath a bit and then plow forward. And I just thought there were some spectacular stunts. There always have been. And based on what I've read since then, that stuff was 99% of that was practical. The CG budget went into her arm, into giving her the robotic arm, and to removing the wires from the stuntmen. But that guitar,
the pyrotechnics,
the flame-throwing guitar was a flame-throwing guitar. I don't think it played music, but I think it shot flames.
Interesting.
But even down to that guy, I loved that thing that he had his own crazy soundtrack of nonsense, metal music to play as they went by. I just thought that was fun. Stupid, but stupid fun. I just liked it. I don't know. So anyway, I've been babbling on. What are you?
And even he got a little moment.
Yeah.
To do more than just play guitar. Yeah.
Exactly.
No. Out of everything, out of how souped up everything was, I think the thing that impressed me most, because it seemed to me like it could have been in the Road Warrior, it should have been in the Road Warrior.
Oh, what?
But it was still great here. Was having guys on like gimbals.
Oh, the polecats, yeah.
God, that was great.
Wasn't that fantastic?
Yeah. Just even thinking about it. A lot of like how. Like how the details were thought out, I thought were really excellent.
Yeah, sort of that felt very Cirque du Soleil-ish, as did there was that shot of what we don't know that we're looking at the former green place, but that sort of ruined landscape that they drive through, and there are people that are sort of creatures on four legs on stilts. There just felt like there were some circus type elements in there which seemed to fit in with the whole.
I was expecting those people to figure back in,
play back somehow. I agree. There was sort of not time for plot. I mean, it was sort of like, but even that. I mean, I feel like the Road Warrior, and I'm sorry to keep referencing it, but it's part of the DNA here, that whole idea that they go to where they think they're going, they miss where they were supposed to be going because it doesn't exist anymore, and who'd have guessed that's exactly what would happen because it's hopeless. I love the idea that they're talking about going like 100 days in what must just be the dehydrated ocean, the completely, and then they go, nope, we actually got to go back to where we came from, and that to me sort of feels very Road Warrior-ish within that universe, that everything you just went through doesn't matter, you got to go back the other way. And so I kind of like that idea. I almost sort of feel like I wish that the trip back had been somehow even more formidable. It felt like it was harder to get away than it was to go back.
I was expecting it, like in the Road Warrior, to be like the last...
Right.
That last ditch, pull out the stops.
Agreed. At least they started killing people off. I appreciated that as much as I didn't. It would have been very hard to believe that everybody from this group, as it got bigger and bigger as they went along, was going to survive this, deadly trip back to where they came from. So I was happy to see some people die, not that I didn't care for them or whatever. I
Right.
just meant storytelling wise, it seemed more honest than not.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I think my excitement and my enthusiasm is tempered a little bit because I was gravely disappointed with the once when the angle started coming in about the bald, sorry, the bald guy.
Did you even see this movie?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I'm joking.
I
The
know, because you're
bald-
like, which one? Because they all were.
Right.
No, the one who ends up like having this little quasi relationship with one of the
Yes. I think his
brides.
name was Knox or Nax.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Yeah, something with an X. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds about right. Um, actually, like as soon as when we were introduced to his character, I think
Yeah.
it's in the Citadel where he has this little exchange with
Yes.
with Billy Corgan, and they're like, and something about like, I'm taking the wheel today. And,
Right. You
I'm gonna
can't
go
go.
on Fury Road. And I was just like,
You can't go because you're sick. It was all this exposition. You can't go because you're sick and you're going to die in this hallway and go to Valhalla or whatever.
And I don't want drama and backstory on like on the ground troops, you know?
Yes.
Especially the enemy camped ground troops. Like that. This was part of the problem with number 3, with
Oh,
Thunderdome,
uh-oh.
in my book.
Uh-huh.
Okay, it's like, yeah, I just don't want any of that. I just want Max. I want
Right.
Max and whoever he's dealing with, and everything we see, he's there for because we're seeing it through his eyes.
Right. I get that. But no, hang on a second though. But even in the second movie, just language of film rules that were established, they would show Max, but they would also show the crazy people in the desert. You had scenes that he wasn't directly privy to
Yeah,
of
okay.
them driving
okay.
across
Yeah,
and so on and so forth.
okay. No, that's true. That's true. That's true.